The defending champs pushed to the brink. What's your level of concern for Argentina?
Well, I think on tonight's performance, a lot of concern, and particularly how tired they were at the end of this game, and also the fact that they were literally hanging on against the third smallest nation ever to qualify for a World Cup. Only Curacao and Iceland are smaller. 500,000 population. Nobody really knows many of their players, and yet here was this team going toe-to-toe with the world champions, the team that's got Messi in it, and they were hanging on at the end, Argentina. It would have been pretty much a disaster for them, but I think it typified this World Cup, is where some of these smaller nations, they're not coming here to defend, they're coming here to go for it. It's their big chance, and they did brilliantly tonight, but certainly it will pose a lot of questions for Argentina, particularly how fatigued they look in extra time.
Yeah, let's talk. The expanded field seems to be working, right? Let's talk about Cape Verde, ranked 67th. First ever World Cup, drew against Spain, Uruguay, Saudi Arabia in the group stage. Of course, just pushed the champs to extra time. What do you make of the country off the West African coast?
It's been incredible. I mean, they're not the only ones, but they've been arguably the best one of the smaller nations. John, there's only 8 teams have ever won the World Cup. And in their first ever World Cup, they've had to play 3 of them. Spain, as you mentioned, Uruguay and Argentina. Albeit Uruguay are not a very good side at the moment, but still, they have better players, more experienced players than Cape Verde. So it has been an experience for them. And honestly, had they got through this Argentina game tonight, which they did not obviously, but had they got through it the way they played, I think they could have beat Egypt in the quarterfinals, honestly. So it's been brilliant for them, but ultimately the Argentinians go through. But they will need to play better if they're going to retain this World Cup.
Buster, so the Cubs will be one of the many teams looking to add at the trade deadline. They were really red hot before that game, and the trade deadline is a month from today. Which teams could be fielding offers soon?
Yeah, Kevin, I would keep an eye on the Detroit Tigers and the Boston Red Sox, who will play out the next 10 days, hoping to get back into it. But, man, the numbers are ugly. For the Detroit Tigers, as according to Fangraphs, 19% chance to make the playoffs. Red Sox, 13% chance to make the playoffs. If the Tigers trade, Tarek Skubal, of course, is going to be the biggest name, but also Casey Mize, veteran right-hander. He's going to be coveted in the marketplace. And with the Red Sox, Sonny Gray, Aroldis Chapman, Garrett Whitlock. Maybe Whitlock would fit your Philadelphia Phillies in a market that is absolutely starved for talent right now. You can bet that the Tigers and the Red Sox would do pretty well in the trade market if they decided to wave the white flag. But, Kevin, so far that has not happened. Both those teams indicating to other clubs they want to continue to play before they make a decision about whether to be buyers or sellers.
So those 2 teams right now, sellers at least, as we're a month away. A look at the top of the AL East. We could have some buyers. And this AL East, it's like your favorite roller coaster ride. It's bumpy, sometimes free falling. Just 13 days ago, the Yankees had the best record in the American League, a 3-game lead over the Rays. Since then, how about this? Tampa is 9-2 and New York is 2-9, with the Rays now holding a 4-game advantage. So, Buster, what has been the key to the Rays' recent surge here and taking the top spot in the AL East?
Kevin, no question, is third baseman Junior Caminero. With his power, which is incredible. He had 45 homers last year. He's got 24 this year. But also with his improved plate discipline. Look, Albert Pujols has been a mentor to him, and he's been telling him, don't swing at pitchers' pitches. Keep the ball in the zone. He's already surpassed his walk total for all of last season. He had 41 last year. He's got 47 this year. He's having a tremendous season, and he just turns 23 on Sunday. What Albert Pujols told me was, Junior Caminero, when Aaron Judge moves on into retirement, Junior Caminero is going to be the next Aaron Judge. We're seeing the front part of that right now.
That is quite the compliment. So the Rays are surging up, and we've got news coming in here, Buster, and it's getting worse for the Yankees in the last hour. Stuck in that 7-game losing streak. They just put starter Carlos Rodon on the injured list with elbow inflammation. He had an MRI, will undergo a platelet-rich plasma injection. That is not good. New York already missing Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton on offense. What does Rodon's injury now mean for the Yankees pitching?
Yeah, and the hits just keep on coming. They're without Max Fried, who's trying to work his way back from the injured list. I think it makes it more likely the Yankees get involved in the starting pitching market. And the good thing from the Yankees' perspective is there are going to be a lot of guys out there. Freddie Peralta of the Mets, Robbie Ray, maybe Clay Holmes. We talked about Skubal, Mize, Sonny Gray. So the Yankees, if in fact they need help, there are going to be options out there. And look, you mentioned Judge and Stanton. Kevin, they're not close to coming back. So the current group of Yankees have to figure this out right away.
And with this offense struggling, the pitching has been fantastic at the start of the season. Right now, just really beat up in the rotation.
Looking ahead to tonight, Argentina is the third reigning World Cup champion in this century to reach the knockout stage at the World Cup. They're seeking to reach the round of 16 for the 6th straight World Cup. They face Cape Verde tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. ESPN FC host Dan Thomas joining us now. Dan, Argentina looking to have a favorable draw until the quarterfinals. So what's their biggest challenge to winning back-to-back World Cups?
Two big challenges they have. As you say, in theory, they should make it through to the semi-finals okay, given the quality of the opposition that they'll face in the round of 16 in the quarterfinals. Then in theory, in the semi-final, it's against Brazil. I think on paper, Argentina have a slightly better side, though, a certainly more experienced side in this format. So I would suggest they should be fine to go through to the final. However, France are the best team in this tournament. It's very difficult to argue against that, given the talent through this whole squad. They are better than they were 4 years ago when they were beaten by Argentina in the World Cup final in Qatar. The big problem that Lionel Messi and Argentina have is looking for back-to-back tournament victories is the French.
Just to note, no team has won consecutive World Cups since Brazil did it back in 1958 and 1962. Dan, the round of 16 kicking off tomorrow with 8 teams in action this weekend. Tomorrow it's Canada and Morocco and Paraguay against France. And then on Sunday, Brazil versus Norway and Mexico and England in the nightcap, though inclement weather might push the match to Sunday afternoon. So, Dan, which of these matches are you most excited for?
There's definitely an English bias to that answer. Little 6-year-old Dan watching Mexico against England at the Azteca in 1986. We saw two of the most extraordinary goals the World Cup has ever witnessed. The hand of God from Maradona as he out-jumped Peter Shilton, punched the ball into the back of the net. No VAR, nobody saw it. Argentina took the lead, and then just the incredible individual goal from Maradona where he picked up the ball at the halfway line and then did what he did and wrote his name in history. The reason I'm bringing that up, obviously, we're now 40 years later and they face off once again at the Azteca, which has been absolutely buzzing so far in this tournament. You look at that victory against Ecuador, they absolutely blew them apart. So impressive, that first half performance. And Mexico go into this game against England as favourites because of their home record. It is going to be one heck of a party in Mexico City if they knock out the Three Lions and send them home.
What has been the team's reaction to Balogun getting that red card?
Yeah, obviously still frustrated even a couple of days later, and I think a lot of this has to do with video replay in soccer. Obviously a controversial subject on its own, but the U.S. feels like the play in question with Balogun was innocuous, a normal coming together of two players. The referee didn't call anything on the field, and it was the video assistant referee who got involved, called the match referee over to the monitor, and showed him what happened, not in real time, but in slow-mo, in instant replay. And obviously once you see the contact Balogun on the player's ankle, difficult not to send him off there. He had to go. And at that point, the players on the U.S. team were just trying to support their teammate. Balogun, I'm told, absolutely gutted. Watched the game in the locker room with Mark McKenzie, who was a substitute. Several of the players after the game went up to Balogun and told him, we're going to get you another game. They want to win on Monday so that Balogun can come back and play again in the quarterfinal.
Yeah, so now they're without their leading goal scorer. So how would Team USA adjust without him versus Belgium on Monday?
Yeah, it's a great question. Obviously, as you say, Balogun, the leading goal scorer, and the second leading goal scorer for the U.S. own goal, which I can report still available. If they can get another own goal like they got in the first couple of games, that'll get them off and running. In terms of replacing Balogun on the field, the obvious like-for-like options are Haji Wright or Ricardo Pepi. I wonder, though, if we'll take a little bit of a lesson from the game against Australia when Christian Pulisic, who's a top attacker on the team after Balogun, when he was out, Mauricio Pochettino pushed Balogun forward and brought Pepi along with him. Two players up front. I wonder if we'll see the same here. Pepi perhaps with Pulisic playing more forward. They're going to have to score to beat Belgium, and Pulisic is now the best attacker on the field.
MLB insider and senior writer Buster Olney joining us now on SportsCenter. Hey, Buster, Ohtani's 110 pitches are his most since July 2023. Again, he will not play today. How are the Dodgers going to manage Ohtani going forward?
Yeah, Jay, it's really day by day because he has had this series of small nagging injuries. Ohtani told reporters after the game last night that bicep issue that popped up during the game last night was something that he dealt with earlier this year. He's also had some soreness on his left knee. That's a land leg for him as a pitcher. He's had some blister issues. All of it is a reminder that doing this two-way thing that Ohtani does seemingly seamlessly is difficult. And the Dodgers have to work with him and get feedback from Ohtani to see what he needs on a day-to-day basis. It's, again, I think it's something that tells us that going forward, this is not going to be something he's going to do to the end of his career. It's really difficult to manage both the hitting and the pitching at the same time.